Agile demand planning is the integration of predictive analytics, planning, and optimization, leveraging IBM's data and AI suite of planning analytics with Watson, Watson Studio, and decision optimization. What we're looking at here is the Agile demand planning lifecycle. Paolo, who is in our data science team, will take into account external factors. He's looking at information from public sites for demographic information, consumer spending, consumer buying trends, etc., and matching it up with historical sales data. Knowing that historical trends are not enough to use alone anymore, he's taking the historical sales information, correlating it with weather, unemployment rates, also correlating with market disruption from supply constraints, and using that to project forward. Once that baseline predictive forecast is done, then Mike, who is our sales planner, is going to be able to ingest that right into planning analytics in his workspace. From there, he will be able to start looking at the different projections by geography or customer, and he can coordinate with Dan, who is our promotion planner, and come up with new promotion plans and uplift for that route to market. Once Mike and Dan complete that process, Tracy, the category manager, can start looking at which categories she is comfortable with and place a hold on, then make a change to the total category. This is all in an effort to get to a final consensus forecast, because at the end of the day, everybody needs to be on the same page. The team are all collaborating in planning analytics to get to that consensus forecast. So then Rob, who is in our supply chain team, can be able to look at our existing inventory levels, match them with demand, and then from there, he can then optimize any allocations that need to occur, moving product from one distribution center to another. In the end, he'll be able to see any gaps requiring a need to procure or manufacture to meet the overall demand. All of this is going on in a collaborative and agile fashion, so if the different teams need to go back and make changes, the process can be continuously iterated and evaluated. As sales and operations are iterating the process, Stuart, in our finance team, is going to be able to go through and analyze profitability by product, by company, even by customer. He can also see what is the dollar impact of all of the choices made throughout this life cycle. Let's dive into the process. The process owner created a menu page to help quickly navigate to the various work streams. Since Paolo has already completed his process steps and the AI forecast is now ready for Mike to work with, let's go right to the AI forecast workspace. As I mentioned earlier, Mike has already shared the history with Paolo, and Paolo ran the correlations with various external factors to create a predictive baseline. Now Mike can bring that predicted baseline into the analysis by easily running this process. Once loaded, he can look at this by total retailers, or if needed, maybe specifically what's the impact of one of the retailers in the mix. He also has insight to information by product and geography if interested. Mike is collaborating with Dan, the promotions planner, and wants to come up with a new promotion to start bringing customers to their e-commerce business to order online and be able to get what they're looking for at a local retailer. Dan would love to get a 400 million unit uplift for that sales promotion, as that was the result of similar promotions in the past. Knowing times have changed, and there are many disruptions in the market, Dan collaborates with Paolo to understand what's realistic for that sales uplift given all of the information that Paolo's AI model has ingested. After running the uplift through the AI model, he could see that he has an issue with water. Not only does he not have an uplift from the promotion, but the model also brought down some of the original forecast because there's a shortage on bottled water in certain geographies. So all that is being taken into account. Dan notices, really, there's no uplift for sports drinks, as the consumer's buying trend indicated many are sitting at their desks like Bill, attending online meetings and snacking on chocolate all day. He's not really drinking sports drinks because his exercise is just getting up to get more chocolate. We want to take those types of signals into account. Mike and Dan are feeling confident that they have good insight from the data science baseline, plus feel good about the uplift, so they collaborate with Tracy, the category manager for chocolate. Given the consumer trends towards chocolate, Tracy would like to increase her overall chocolate category. Looking at the forecast, she is comfortable with bittersweet chocolate, so she wants to hold that, but overall forecast a 15% increase on the chocolate category. By holding bittersweet chocolate, some of the categories like premium chocolate may go up 17 or 18%, but overall the total category is going to fall back to 15%. Tracy's comfortable with the adjustment and has coordinated with Dan and Mike, making sure that the uplift is taken into account. In order to achieve the 15% category increase, Tracy wants to add a new SKU for white chocolate. She wants to come up with something creative to start enticing people into going back to her brand. While working with Dan and Mike on the new sales promotion, she says to herself, what I think we need is a white chocolate nutty bar into this mix. Right here, she can easily add the new innovation and plan for its impact. Tracy has chosen white chocolate, obviously, because that's where she wants the new SKU to be, but she can select any category in here. She adds nutty white chocolate bar, and it is immediately available on her report so she can start planning the uplift. Initially, she expects 1,000 units per week, but as time moves on, she thinks it really will take off and have a 20% growth, so she wants to account for that in her forecast. Tracy feels good about the new innovation and her overall category increase. Now the team is ready to review the forecast in their S&OP meeting to come up with the consensus forecast and let operations begin their process. The management team is looking at how the forecast was built up and adds in a few stretch goals before agreeing on the forecast. Looking at their dashboard, the team can see how much of the demand is going to a particular retailer and maybe want to drill in and just see the breakdown of what's going on by geography. They are seeing a large amount of volume going to Texas and Florida, so they may want to keep an eye on that because those are identified as the next hotspots for weather-related disruption. Overall, the team is comfortable with the consensus forecast, so it's time to turn this over to Rob from the supply chain team. Rob is looking at inventory on hand. He can cycle his workspace by product, category, geography, whatever. He wants to merge the consensus demand forecast that sales and marketing has come up with to the inventory levels on hand to start looking at any allocations that need to happen across the distribution centers. Letting the solution do the heavy lifting, Rob is going to run an optimization model to look at the correlation between the demand and the inventory levels and have the solution recommend cost-effective inventory allocations. Rob wants to see if there's anything else he needs to do as far as maybe additional procurement or production to meet those gaps. And here, he can easily see that not only has he moved inventory around as needed, but he's also come up with a replacement for the first few weeks that is going to carry them through the next 6 to 8 weeks to then burn down that inventory. He is looking at what is the most optimal cost-effective way to do this and still meet the demand, including the new demand for the nutty white chocolate bar that Tracy put into place. So far, we have gone through and collaborated with the various data, sales, and marketing teams to arrive at a consensus demand forecast. Operations now has been able to work with that demand forecast and optimize inventory allocations and perform a gap analysis for procurement or production needs. The next step in the life cycle is where Stuart can go right here within the solution and start seeing what is the profitability and overall impact of the decisions made so far, and break it down to see what's the expected economics from the new product introduction. If necessary, Stuart can also collaborate with the Treasury team and see if there is a cash flow impact to ensure there is enough cash on hand to meet those demands and get the new procurement or moves happening. If needed, he can also work with Treasury to forecast borrowing against the line of credit because he has all of the necessary information at his fingertips. So there you have it, the pickle in the middle and the mustard on top. We have just went from leveraging AI to create a predictive baseline that sales and marketing use for their planning activities to operations running an optimization model to ensure the right product went to the right place at the right time. And finance made sure the organization achieved the profitability goals that were set and had the necessary cash on hand to meet the goals. Thank you.